Well, I mean, her energy, certainly. You know that she's a player who comes in and gives you a spark. Defensively, she's a lockdown defender, so she gives you a point of attack defender. She's an excellent rebounder from the guard position, and, you know, her ability to get downhill. You always need somebody who can be that game changer from an energy standpoint, and she's that player.
What's nice about playing so quickly after a loss like last game?
You know, obviously, yes, a quick turnaround and the ability to kind of put it in the rear view. And, you know, certainly we want to learn from it, but we don't want to compound it. We don't want to trip on anything that's behind us. And we got to make sure now we get to come out and be locked in and focused on a Chicago team that's playing great basketball.
Coach, I know you spoke on this a little bit before, but outside the United Center, there are protesters in favor of what Sophie's comments in terms of women's rights, and there's also protesters, you know, in terms of trans rights as well. What is your take on this, Coach, in terms of just seeing both groups who are now speaking out and how big the story has gotten?
I mean, I gave my comment before, so you can certainly look back on that. And I will always believe in everyone's right to peaceful assembly.
You just said a minute ago, you know, learning from it. What is the biggest things that you hope the team takes or learns from those closing minutes of that Aces game?
Well, even before the closing minutes, you know, we have to understand the mentality that it takes for a 40-minute ball game. We've had multiple games where we've had double-digit leads, and we relax. That's mentality. That's mental toughness, valuing every possession in those moments. It usually starts with a couple of either quick shots or turnovers that teams get a little bit of a momentum, get some easy scores, and then it comes down to being in rotation and foul trouble and putting them at the free throw line. So certainly want to continue to grow in understanding how important every single possession is, and that's a mentality. And as far as end of game, I mean, you know, obviously we want to make free throws. You know, you make one of those, but you know, it really came down to me to that end of second quarter into the third quarter, and that's where we got to continue to grow. We'll continue to work our end of game situations, you know, certainly as well. But we watch the film, we move on from it, and you know, there's no substitute for experience, and experiencing gut-wrenching moments like that can pay dividends for us down the road if we take it and use it in a positive way.
Coach, when you have players that are deep on Team USA, how much do you have to kind of think about that or balance that when you're making a playoff push, knowing that they're going to have kind of a heavy load?
I don't think about it at all. You know, really, it's Team USA is loaded with talent. You know, there's plenty of depth at every position, so it's not like they're going to be playing as heavy a minutes as they would play in the WNBA, and this is the priority right now. You know, certainly I'm really proud of the opportunity that our players have to represent, you know, our country and represent the Indiana Fever in World Cup competition. But we got to be where our feet are, and we got to make sure that we take care of our business.
So how have you seen Chicago evolve since you last played them almost 2 months ago, and what's key against them?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing great basketball, and I thought they played us really well, you know, at our place too. The ball is moving. I think they have the highest assist rate, you know, in the league. Multiple players are touching it. They're averaging nearly 25 assists a game in the last 5, and their ball movement makes it really tough. You got to be disruptive. You got to keep their rhythm and timing, you know, disrupted. And so we've got our activity level has to be great. We cannot just let them ping the ball around. We're going to be in trouble. They're doing a really good job of playing through their bigs. And because of that, they're getting high-quality shots from the three-point line. And I think their balanced attack and the way that they're able to knock down those shots after establishing on the inside has been very good. You know, I think when you talk about getting a player like Courtney Vandersloot back in the lineup and now getting comfortable, there's no substitute for that experience. She's a leader. She's one of the best to ever do it. She understands how to get people the ball in positions to make them successful. She understands the leadership that it takes, you know, in huddles, in timeouts, in the locker room. And so, you know, you cannot underestimate her presence and the result of her presence in the way that they're playing.
Coach, I know she's not playing tonight, but Sydney Taylor, I was just wondering your impression of her, like, breakout this season.
Yeah, she's been incredible. I mean, when you think about shot makers, you know, right now she's at the top of the list. Her ability to create her own shot. You know, I love her story and how she's just gone overseas and continued to get better and continue to grind. And then when you get an opportunity, you take advantage of it. You know, we often talk about stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and she has stayed ready. She's a tough cover one-on-one. No, I thought her ability to knock down that shot to beat Vegas showed the mentality that she has, and she's going to be a dangerous player in this league for a long time.
So last one back in the front here. And Coach, you talked about this guy and their bigs already, but Camilla Cardoso and it'll be at Boston. That matchup there, Coach. Give us your thoughts on that in terms of how you see him trying to slow down Camilla.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and I feel like, Camilla has gotten in great shape as the season has progressed, and it makes it even tougher, to match up with her. She does a great job of getting her low post position, of understanding her spots. They're doing a really good job of getting her the ball on time and on target. I think you see two physical post players that are going to be going at it. When you think about South Carolina bigs, they've been pretty dominant. And so I think for AB, it's going to be a tremendous challenge on the defensive end of the floor. And if Camilla matches up with AB, I think it's going to be a challenge for her as well, especially with AB's ability to stretch the floor and play in multiple positions. But we've got to do a great job of taking away her easy touches, get her off the block a little bit, and force her to shoot those 5 to 7 footers instead of letting her shoot in the RA.
Yeah, one more in the front there, so.
You played this guy in June. What is one thing you must do better than you did in that previous matchup?
We've got to defend better. I mean, I think they had 106 points or something in that ball game. We've got to do a better job protecting the paint. We got to make sure we're disciplined in our closeouts and guarding one-on-one, because they have multiple guards that can get downhill, that can put you in rotation, that can open up offensive rebounds. So we've got to be really solid on the defensive end.